Hey everyone, Brendan from Team Topcut here. Today I'm going to continue the series discussing the core archetypes releasing in the upcoming Deckbuild Set Justice Hunters that both Brian and Alistair have already made videos for. If you haven't given those a watch yet, feel free to do so after this video, as we'll only be covering one deck at a time. This time, however, we will be talking about Canine. While initially not as impactful as its counterparts in the OCG, Canine was very quickly discovered to be a fierce meta threat, especially when combined with another deck, personal favorite of mine, Vanquish Soul. Recent OCG results have shown that despite a ban list and the release of new cards with limit regulation and the new tactical tri-pack, the metagame actually remains the same, with Canine Vanquish Soul taking the top spot and doubling the amount of tops as the second place deck. Yummy. Now, as much as I want to cover the Vanquish Soul build of this deck in depth, we're going to save that for another video, and instead I'm going to focus on just Canine for this specific video. This is a intro to Canine, after all. The archetype in its pure form focuses on turboing out rank 5 monsters to create a toolbox-style mid-range deck. This flexibility and range does give you the option to play any style of deck you want based on how you use your Canine cards and what monsters you make with your Canine cards as material. This could mean stun, OTK, grind-focused, combo, or low-to-the-ground back row heavy if you're into that. Let's start with the main deck monsters. Canine has 4 main deck monsters in its first wave of support, all designed around printing as many level 5 bodies as possible. This low monster count does oftentimes cause issues with the archetype, almost forcing a hybrid style build of the deck or unconventional tech cards to be played just because they meet the level 5 requirement. K966A Yokel, K966B Lantern, and K917 Azuna are going to serve as the deck starters, all 3 of which share the effect. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. You'll notice a recurring theme throughout the video regarding how this archetype interacts with and somewhat relies on the opponent in order to play. What makes these monsters our starters? Well, Jokel's effect is, you can reveal this card and one other level 5 monster in your hand, special summon both, but they cannot be used as material for the XYZ summon of a light monster. During your main phase, you can add one non-Aqua Canine monster from your deck to your hand. Lantern's effect is, if this card is in your hand, you can target one non-Pyro level 5 Canine monster in your graveyard, special summon it and this card, but they cannot be used as material for the XYZ summon of a light monster. During your main phase, you can add one Canine spell trap from your deck to your hand. Both Lantern and Jokel can be useful to help start making rank 5 plays from the jump, with a mostly insignificant restriction applied that prevents you from going into Paradise Smashers immediately before anything important happens. Azuna, on the other hand, is a less direct starter, but more arguably a powerful one. Her effect states, during the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Canine card from your deck to the graveyard except K917 Azuna. Azuna is easily the most important Canine card to have in your opening hand. She's the one that grants you access to turn 0 gameplay using the last Canine main deck monster, K900 Lupus. Lupus's effect is, an XYZ monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. During the main phase, if your opponent activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard but banish it when it leaves the field. During your opponent's turn, you can, quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon using this card you control. Lupus is typically sent to grave by Azuna to help make Ripper on turn 0 or 1 in an attempt to either start playing the game or help protect against scarier hand traps or other monster effects. Lantern, Jokel, and Azuna all offer you the ability to start your own plays and generate bodies for free, while Lupus exists to complement your other Canine monsters, help extend combos, and provide you with the additional turn 0 utility. Next will be spells and traps. First, let's cover the 2 quick play spells that the deck uses to tag into new Canine XYZs using your existing XYZ monsters. Canine LC Revelation is a quick play spell, and it states that you can target one Canine XYZ monster or rank 5 XYZ monster you control. Special summon one Canine XYZ monster from your extra deck with a different name using that target as material. This is treated as an XYZ summon, and you transfer its materials to the summoned monster. During the end of the battle phase, if your Canine monster battled, you can set this card from your graveyard. Canine EX Force Revelation is also a quick play spell, and it states during the main phase you can target one Canine XYZ monster you control, special summon one Canine XYZ monster from your extra deck with a different name using that target as material. Then you can destroy one card your opponent controls. This is treated as an XYZ summon, and you transfer its materials to the summoned monster. During the end of the battle phase, if your canine monster battled, you can set this card from your graveyard. These card effects are incredibly similar, with a slight difference existing to help serve different purposes, with LC Revelation being used more as an extender to set up an endboard piece to convert any rank 5 into a canine monster, and EX Force Revelation being used more to help push through boards to OTK or as a means of interruption on the opponent's turn. They do both, however, share the same effect to set themselves at the end of the battle phase, meaning if you were to use these cards to help push for damage but failed to win, they'll set themselves to help you again on the opponent's turn. Next up is Case of Canine. Unlike the other spells, this is a continuous spell that has the effect of, when it is activated, you can add one canine monster from your deck to your hand. Additionally, it does have the continuous effect that canine monsters you control gain 900 attack the turn your opponent activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. We see that theme coming back. If this card is in the spell and trap card zone, and it is destroyed by a card effect, you can set one canine quick play spell from your deck or graveyard. You can only activate one Case of Canine per turn. This will primarily serve as a starter for the deck and allow you to get access to the quick play spells for a follow-up turn on turn 3 in the event it is removed on the opponent's turn. And finally, the extra deck monsters. While this deck does have access to almost any rank 5 in the game, the archetypal specific ones are more than powerful enough in their own right. Canine 17 Ripper is a rank 5 that requires 2 level 5 monsters, and it is a wind. Why does the attribute matter? Well, because some of the main deck monsters for Canine do have that light restriction on them. Ripper's effect is you can detach one material from this card, add one Canine card from your deck to your hand, then if your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, you can set one Canine quick play spell from your deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect from the hand or graveyard quick effect, you can detach one material from this card to negate that effect. This can be really helpful as a way to prevent cards like Droll and Lockbird or Nibiru from resolving. The fact that this doubles up as both a negate and a resource generator is genuinely ridiculous. If you were to make this card turn 0 on the opponent's turn, you have the opportunity to negate something from the hand or graveyard on their turn, and then on your turn, use its effect to search a canine starter, and if your opponent has already used a monster effect that turn, you can set a canine quick play spell from your deck or graveyard as additional follow-up. Canine 00 Hound is a rank 5 that requires 2 level 5 monsters, and it is a light. It cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects the turn that it is special summoned. Each time that your opponent activates a monster effect, this card gains 500 attack. That is not until the end of the turn, that is permanent, by the way. During the standby phase quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then target one card on the field, banish it. This card both has the opportunity to be a really strong method of OTKing the opponent, and a really strong method of just walling up and saying, "Out me, bud," forcing atypical interactions or removal to deal with it. The fact that it gains 500 attack each time the opponent activates a monster effect permanently makes this card a house. The protection effect, the turn that it is summoned, and the fact that it can get massive makes this a problem for the opponent to have to deal with. Canine EX Werewolf, on the other hand, is not a rank 5, it is a rank 9 that requires 2 level 9 monsters, and it is also a light. While this card has material, it can make a number of attacks each battle phase, up to the number of those materials. When your opponent activates an effect, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then activate the following effect depending on the player turn. If you use it on your turn, you can banish up to one card each from both your opponent's field and graveyard. And if it is on your opponent's turn, you can look at your opponent's hand, then banish one card from it face up until the end phase. This serves to not only help push for game on your own turn, but the fact that it doubles as removal and a hand rip depending on which turn you use it is incredibly strong, and will be sure to upset more than a few players during Canine's tenure in the format. This card is basically a combination of Trishula and Psyframe Omega, based on which turn you use its effect on. Canine is an archetype, ironically, without any handcuffs on it. They aren't restricted to any specific type or attribute, but rather their archetypal synergies are primarily rooted in their level 5. The neat part, of course, being that you can use the main deck monsters to make almost any rank 5 in the game, and can even use LC Revelation to turn those generic monsters into canine monsters. We see a lot of similarities between this deck and a deck like Ryziel or Zodiac, for example, in the sense that your game plan is to make your appropriately ranked XYZ monsters quickly and easily, and to use the XYZ stacking mechanic to, in archetype, rank up spell, empower your board, and provide depth of gameplay. If Ryziel is so powerful though, and rank 4s are objectively the most powerful XYZ pool in the game, why would we play Canine instead? Well, unlike Ryziel, K9 does not have any notable locks or restrictions. The only one worth mentioning is the light restriction attached to Jokul and Lantern. You can almost compare this archetype to Fiendsmith and how easily thrown into decks it can be without much consequence. What makes this archetype stand out from the other decks releasing with Justice Hunters, Yummy, and Dracotail? Well, K9 is a hand traps hater's dream scenario, with the entire deck design revolving around the basic concept of, oh, you tried to hand trap me? You're under arrest. This is an archetype that capitalizes on your opponent activating monster effects in the hand or graveyard, using that as fuel for it to play at full power. Hand traps like Ash Blossom, Charmies, or Droll and Lockbird, starters or extenders like Habakiri or any of the Dracotail fusion effects in hand, etc. All of these will allow for you to punish the opponent for attempting to stop you or play broken cards. Let's get a quick summary of the deck's strengths and weaknesses to wrap up the video. For strengths, we have strong extra deck utility with access to rank 5s beyond just the K9 cards. Some of this extra deck utility can include the Nash Knight package, Konami Vimana, Valon the Super Sky Blaster, Artifact Durandal, and Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, just to name a few. Additionally, there are no real restrictions on the deck. While primarily used to make XYZs, you can theoretically use these bodies to link summon or synchro summon if you use tuners like Gold Pride Eliminator. The only lock is making a light XYZ with it, but there's workarounds for that. Additionally, this deck does have turn 0 gameplay as a strength. Who wouldn't want a free turn of setting up before they really start to play the game? And it can comically make a Typhon on turn 0 if used at the appropriate time. For weaknesses, we have, it is reliant on the opponent. If they never use a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, then you are SOL on using your K9 cards from hand on their turn. Additionally, you can find yourself fairly frozen or suffering for plays going second if your opponent didn't give you a chance to play on their turn, and they don't have enough cards in their hand for you to normal summon your K9 cards. Additionally, this does suffer from inconsistency issues. In order to play pure, you're stuck playing odd consistency bump cards like Battle Guard Echoes to search Azuna, Chaotic Elements to search Jokul or Lantern, and bad level 5 extenders or free summons just to give us enough bodies to even attempt to play. Stuff like Red Layer, Light Stage and Korrabane, Disc Blaster, Link Slayer, Shield of the Millennium Dynasty, so on, so on. I do think that this archetype is too empty to really play pure, but there might be some potential for a pure or blind second build that focuses heavier on Hound and Werewolf to break boards and push for damage. Decks that already run level 5s find themselves in a very nice spot to play this engine, such as Vanquish Soul or Crystron is another one that's very popular. Cyber Dragon would be another one that could also be very popular. And additionally, this can be played as a slim package in almost any deck of 3 Azuna, 1 Lupus, or a full one where you add in the Yokuls, the Lanterns, and some of the spells. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to join the Discord. We'll have the link in the description of the video itself. We do additionally also have a coaching service, which, if you're looking to learn the deck for K9, Yummy, Dracotail, really any deck, we provide that service for you, and first session's free. With that, I'm signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.